On this episode of That Kingsville Podcast, we talk about some local major announcements in the Windsor-Essex region, and for all of Canada, for that matter. Big, finally, big announcement.
Is it the pickleball court?
Yes, it is the pickleball court. We also talk about the first block party in the town of Kingsville and your municipal election update. All that and more on this episode of That Kingsville Podcast. That Kingsville Podcast, still proudly brought to you by Kingsville Brewery. You know what's nice about the Kingsville Brewery beer garden?
No.
You can go every weekend, and somehow it's never exactly the same.
Huh.
One weekend, it's your favorite local musician. Next weekend, it's someone new. One week, it's tacos. Next week, it's barbecue. After that, who knows? Honestly, it's one of the things that the one thing that's consistent is the beer. Every Friday, Saturday from 11 to 9, Sundays from 11 to 8, Beer Garden is serving up cold Kingsville brews, live local music, and different food vendor every weekend.
Glug, 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 glug.
It's like summer has a standing reservation. Grab a light A lager if you're looking for something crisp, a hazy IPA if your weekend plans include saying, let's stay for just one more. Or a Hefeweizen if you're in the mood to pretend you can taste things like subtle banana notes. Sure you can, Steve. ChatGPT. ChatGPT's dick.
Wait,
Did I put my name in there? I thought you were just... I've made it, everybody.
That's amazing.
I thought the peak of my existence was this podcast, but not only that, I am in the ad.
The best part, you don't need an occasion. It's Friday. That's the occasion. Visit KingsvilleBrewery.com, see who's playing this weekend or which food vendors rolling in. Check out their full lineup of local craft beers. Kingsville Brewery, because calendars are overrated, but patio season isn't.
And maybe you'll see Steve.
Thanks, Kingsville Brewery, for supporting That Kingsville Podcast. And thanks, ChatGPT. Well, should I thank ChatGPT? It's listening to the podcast, and it knows.
It's
Steve.
Stealing everything from us.
Thanks, Kingsville Brewery, for supporting us.
I'm surprised it didn't say sorry before my name.
Sorry, Steve.
Sorry, Steve. Anyway.
That's crazy.
Sorry to cut you off. I am sorry.
Welcome to That Kingsville Podcast. It's Dave, Kevin, Steve. Weather and traffic on the twos. It's hot. We are in the middle of a heat wave.
Heat dome.
Yeah, most of the prairies and into southwestern Ontario, the Midwest, the U.S. Hot.
They were showing like the heat maps and storm maps on the TV before I drove over here. And I'm looking at Channel 7 and like they've got the map up. It took me way too long to realize that the place I was looking at was the UP. I'm like, what is it? What are they showing? Like, where is that? And I was trying to like figure out the town names and like the shape. I'm like, that I don't understand where in Michigan this is. And then it's obviously it was the UP afterwards. I'm like, oh, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, but you don't usually hear about like severe heat warnings in the UP.
No,
like that's significantly north, right?
Yeah,
like usually that's the moderate climate, nice, easy summer. Well, maybe it's frying all the black flies. Right?
Maybe it smells so bad.
Just roasting them and they're just dying, falling out of the sky. Anyway, welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in. Middle of summer. We're really in the swing of things.
It's so hot.
It is so hot.
It's so hot.
You know, thankfully, we live on the lake.
Like, it's oppressive out there.
Well, but would you rather be shoveling?
No.
There's moments.
Well,
where I'm like, I thought about it today, actually.
You have a job where you have to be outside and you're working and you're like conducting effort. So I'm very sympathetic for your plight.
Yeah, it could be worse. I could be a roofer or, laying asphalt or something.
Yeah,
but
cement.
Yeah, today was actually one of the first days where like, usually I can go and continue and then I'm done. And, you're keeping hydrated along the way. And I know I've mentioned this on previous podcasts, but they're really great people. They come out, do you want a bottle of water? And, you make your own efforts, but when people do that, you very rarely say no. Yeah. But there was one point today where I had to stop. I always take a granola bar with me. I found a shade tree, ate my granola bar, drank half my Gatorade very quickly, and just took a couple of minutes. And that's rare. But I needed to do that today, and I was glad I did, and then I was great the rest of the route. But it's probably one of the toughest days that I've endured.
Until tomorrow. Because
Well,
guess what's coming tomorrow? We're going to tack on the heat and add smoke.
Oh, is it wildfires?
oh, air
good
quality.
luck. Yeah, air quality alert. So earlier today, forecast overnight in through the morning, through the next day or so, wildfires in northern Ontario and west. We're right in the pipeline to get all that smoke. So
the worst.
Hey, guess what? It's gonna get harder. Which you wouldn't want to be outside overexerting yourself in the first place. But it is your job and your career. So you gotta
and that's just it. Like people will say, is you don't get the line hot enough for you, which is nice. How are you handling the heat? Well, as best I can. I'm staying hydrated. We have cooling towels and stuff like that. But
Do you have designated break trees?
no. But when you
part of the agreement.
when if you know a route well enough, you can, just find us, even if it's just on the edge of a lawn or a sidewalk.
Yeah.
Just kind of there.
You gotta get one of those neck fan things that blows air.
We do have one.
Yeah.
When the girls went to Europe last year, they each had one because, as we know, it was a scorcher in Europe, and you can attest that it's a scorcher in Europe currently.
Yeah.
No, we do everything we can to be safe and smart about it, obviously. And at the end of the day, if you're feeling any sort of symptoms, then that's your cue to say, hey, you know what, I can't continue. Make a phone call, do what you have to do, and take care of your body.
If your mail's a little damp, it's a little bit of Steve on there.
Well, even with that being said, everything gets sacrificed whenever there's heat like this, especially outdoor activities like pickleball.
Oh, good segue. Look at that.
Well done.
Well, there's not much pickleball happening now.
Thankfully, there's severe issues at the Kingsville pickleball court. So, transitioning into that, there's issues with the Kingsville pickleball court. So, we're going to paraphrase. We're not the news.
Not the news. You should look in.
It's somewhere on the board.
We're not the news.
Thank you.
There it is.
So, if we misquote or whatever, fine.
You can find all of this information on kingsville.ca.
Kingsville.ca.
And you should look it up and read it on your own.
Yeah, but we're not. So,
No.
Anyway.
I spent a long time reading it today.
And?
I'll regurgitate things that I read and try to keep as little comments out of it as possible. But again, not the news.
Not the news.
So the town of Kingsville spent, if you remember, back in 2002, they approved a tender for $330,000 to build pickleball courts.
2002?
2012?
22, sorry.
2022.
22.
I know. It's
my bad.
It's crazy though that how fast the years are going.
Yeah.
That was an easy.
We are still in 2002, right?
Some days.
Yeah. Go.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Okay, 22.
22. So $330,000 to build pickleball courts, and they got put up, and they're there, and they've been playing on them, and there's a lot of people.
So 330. That was the net cost.
That was plus HST. Oh, look at that!
No! Don't do it. Oh,
There it is.
okay.
They're going to come fast because Steve's churning here.
So I'm trying to remember the breakdown. It was, the budget was $350. The tender came in at $330. $75,000 was raised by the pickleball
association group.
Yeah,
whatever.
group.
Okay.
Kingsville Pickleball.
I think they're a nonprofit corporation, I think.
Yes, I believe.
So $75,000 came in from them. The rest of it came from town budget. And
Sponsorship.
but the sponsorships, I think that money came in through the Pickleball Association.
Possibly. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, that's part of the $75,000, not the $250-ish thousand from the town.
Yep.
So then they get installed and they play, and all the way back, because I went through. I had a long lunch today, so I went through.
It was hot.
The minutes of the meetings of the nonprofit corporation Kingsville Pickleball to look at what some of the comments were about the courts going back. And so the very first set of minutes that's on their site, like going back, is in April 2023, and then they were complaining about the surface and saying the town is going to look into it, see what there could be done to help rectify some of the issues with cracking in the cement. Then come forward 2 years, they got to a point where no drainage, no proper drainage underneath the base of the courts. The fencing is actually residential grade fencing, not commercial grade fencing, so they can't put up windscreens.
Yeah, because it'll fold.
On the fence. So, which, like, obviously, if you've ever played pickleball, you know, like they use wiffle balls essentially, and they will blow all over the place if it's windy. So they couldn't put windscreens up to help remedy that. And through investigation by the town, they realized that the contractor had used residential fencing around the pickleball court, but also the substrate that's underneath the asphalt that's there is not up to standard by any means. So on Monday, council decided, after issuing an RFP back in June, that they're going to have to demolish the pickleball courts that are there to the ground, take the top off, redo the base of the courts, and then rebuild the pickleball courts at a cost of $815,000 plus HST. So now at this point, the pickleball courts are going to have cost about $1.25 million. That's a lot of pickleball.
I wonder
a lot for pickleball.
How are we funding the rebuild?
So
are they courting sponsorship?
Steve, that's why we love you. That's why ChatGPT knows you.
Just serving them in there.
Yes.
So so the town knew this was coming back last year. They had done some planning, and so they applied for a grant with help from the Pickleball Association, and they got a provincial grant for matching grant for $500,000. And then the town has to put in $500,000, so a total of $1 million. But $250,000 of that was supposed to go to baseball. It's because baseball is supposed to get some new dugouts, a new scoreboard, and some upgrades to the lighting that's on Diamond One. So that was going to be $250,000. So now you're looking at way more than what they had initially hoped it would be, but to the tune of about $125,000 over the original estimate. So now it becomes, okay, well, what's going to happen to that work? And so we looked into it. The town is looking at funding it through reserves, through the parks reserves. The only problem is that, and the town didn't address this, and I'm hoping that at some point, like, again, we're not the news.
Not the news.
But just from our very rudimentary looking at the budget and looking at the amount that they want to withdraw from that reserve account account's only budgeted to have $68,000 in it, and they're approved last night to remove $125,000 from it. So there's about $60,000 missing.
Or just the accounting isn't understood what bucket it's coming out of.
Right. They did specifically name an account that they would use to fund it, and that is like, it's a named account in the reserves. So that named account has $68,000 according to the budget. So you can make that up through a few different things, right? You don't spend the money on things you're planning to spend it on this year. Or you borrow money from other reserve accounts to offset that added cost. So then does it become, well, maybe some of the other work doesn't happen this year that they were planning. And that hasn't been discussed. But now you have to start accounting for, okay, well, where's the extra money going to come from?
Yeah, and we didn't reach out to the town for comment. This is again, our speculation.
Not the news.
Not the news.
But yeah, so I also, because I was curious, I did some research into the cost of a pickleball court, because it seems like it's a lot.
Well, that's not at all.
It's actually, yeah.
It's not at all. It's
basically that $815,000-ish breaks out to about $110,000-ish a court, because there's 8 courts. And that's about the going rate. anywhere between $108,000 and $125,000, depending on if you have to install parking per court, is sort of the going construction cost estimate right now.
For an outdoor court.
For an outdoor court.
Indoor courts do cost a lot more.
Well, yeah, because
It's significant.
because they're inside, not outside.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
interesting.
It is. And I'm thinking back to when a lot of this started, and not looking to place blame on anyone, but looking at why. And I do recall at the time, it's like pickleball is, I remember doing the stories and people were saying it's the fastest growing sport in North America. Absolutely. And the evidence is there. You see stories about it all the time. Everybody's trying it now. It's part of I don't think it's part of the gym curriculum, but they certainly play it at the high school during some of the phys ed classes. But there was a lot of pressure on the town to have more pickleball courts. And there was the back and forth between, the usage of the tennis court between the tennis club and the pickleball players. There was indoor pickleball. And I'm not blaming the pickleball court and I'm not blaming the town, but I think the town recognized the pressure and the need for it. And it just, to me, all of a sudden these pickleball courts were there. Like, it was almost like you blinked and they were there. And I think this is why we are in this situation now. It was sort of, yes, we know we need to do this. Let's do it. Let's get it done. And unfortunately, it wasn't done correctly. And that might not be the town's fault. That might be the contractor's fault. I'm not saying it's anybody's fault, but it was certainly done with haste. And
not to place any blame on any specific entity, but there is ongoing litigation. And so when council was discussing this at their meeting on Monday night and where they approved this tender, one of the questions was what is happening to recoup the original $330,000 investment. And the response from the town's legal counsel was there's ongoing litigation, so we're not able to comment on that.
Okay.
Right. And so I guess it's the town comments on some lawsuits now, but not this one, I guess.
Well, I mean, it's always a slippery slope. When the litigation, you don't want to say the wrong thing at all, right? And it's true. You can't comment. So,
except if it's in Ruthven.
Well,
the town wanted to serve the public.
Nice. Good job.
And equip the town with pickleball courts, right? And you're right, it was done hastily. There was a lot of back and forth between Kingsville Pickleball about how things were going to be funded. Again, not the news. This is just remembrance of those.
Yeah, the pilot project began on the tennis courts in 2013.
Right.
And the initial investigation, like decision from the town that they were going to begin investigating pickleball courts was in 2018. And then this thing happened that kind of delayed everything around 2020. And then
right. Yes. Yeah, because I remember, there was a group and they were very active and they were strong-willed and they knew what they wanted, they knew what needed to be done, and they were happy to pursue, but they were also happy to be involved in whether it was fundraising or whatever process.
However, that is the crux of the problem, is the fundraising, right? In order to do it properly, it was known that it was well over what the investment was supposed to be allocated towards building those courts. Knowing back then $300,000 was not going to build you a premier or adequate facility. It was,
right.
But that was what was available, and that was what could satisfy.
See, I'm not sure that's true, actually. And reading, so I actually read the report for the tender of back then, and they were, and the dollar figure seems crazy now, but they were talking about like state-of-the-art surface treatments, special overhead canopies to be able to do that in the original build at $330,000.
We'll talk about it off air because I have firsthand knowledge of what kind of went through.
But
anyhow,
part of the concern too was the location, because as I recall, the town, one of the proposals was at the Lions Park.
Yes.
But there were those involved with pickleball that thought the arena was more central, especially for their activities. And
What goes further than that too is facilities, availability of facilities. So
there wasn't a lot of land available.
Washrooms,
change rooms, washrooms in the arena complex, and also sound. So with the Lions Park being surrounded by residences, the clap or the smack of the paddles was a deterrent as well, too.
Right. No, but I really, to put it at the arena, that parcel of land was all really that was available.
Well, even then, so didn't they move the bocce courts?
No, the bocce court rebuild was part of that.
Okay, was it? All right.
Yeah.
I couldn't
That's
recall
part of that
how it
initial.
went. So,
But the contractor who built the pickleball courts is also the contractor who was awarded Phase 2 of Lions Park.
did they also build Highway 3?
No.
Oh, okay. It's a different contractor.
Yeah.
How about Road 2?
No, that's a company with 2 letters, but 4 letters in its name.
Yeah. How about Road 2 resurfacing?
That one's an interesting one.
Yeah, that took a while. Anyhow, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things play out. You know, we'll have to lob an update over the fence.
Oh,
I get nothing.
That's
I'm looking at you, and he's not paying
that's
attention.
good. I like it. That's good.
Listen. Thanks, Gary. I don't
No,
get it.
Gary says no.
No.
If he gets too bad, we'll just take the paddle to him.
It's a weak attempt.
Oy vey. Well, bigger news in the area. We're going to start off with the national news, international news. We finally have a date for the Gordie Howe Bridge opening. July 27 is Monday, is what the quote-unquote, at this point in time, barring anything that happens between now and then, which we're the 14th of July recording this, that's when it's going to open. And that project was decades in the making.
So one of my very first assignments was the 5-point border plan in 2003.
Wow.
Do you remember that? When the event was at the Chicharo, and the Susan Whalen made the announcement. Eugene was there. And it was Eddie Francis had just been elected. I think it was one of his first big media events. Mike Raymond was the warden, I'm pretty sure at the time. And then we were trying to get John Toffelmeyer, who was the city engineer who actually did a lot of the work. But the 5-point action plan back then was doing the undercut on Walker Road for the trains.
Yep.
And doing the undercut on Howard.
Yeah.
And then there was new radar that was being installed on the train tracks at that point to keep the trains flowing faster. That was part of the 5 points. And then the other was redeveloping the tunnel plaza so that it could handle more traffic. And then there was a portion of it that was redeveloping part of University Ave. Because there were... Back then, the plan was DRTP to run a road, a tunnel next to the train tunnel, the Detroit River Tunnel Partnership.
Yeah.
And so then the city was not happy because all of those would have had traffic going downtown to cross international traffic going downtown to cross the border. So then the political machinations began in the background, and we ended with what we have today.
Well, it's majestic, right? And through the trials and tribulations and all the drama and all the back and forth and how the arrangement was made to fund it and whatnot, it's impressive. It's a showpiece. It's a beautiful, beautiful bridge. And
it's the design of all of it. It's so. The city was so smart to play the province and the federal government's hand to force that bridge being the option. Like one of the things you know, but you might not realize why. So if you're driving down the 401, you have to get onto Huron Church before you get onto the EC Row.
yeah,
There's no easy way onto the EC Row.
correct.
Intentionally, because they didn't want to give the federal government and the province an out to be able to run that traffic on the EC Row downtown. So they made it more difficult to get onto the EC Row so that you couldn't just easily run traffic that way. There was a map I remember. John Toffelmeyer actually, and we reached out to him to try and get him on, and unfortunately, he wasn't available. But I remember him showing me a map of the 1950s of Essex County, and this was back when they were originally planning the expansion of the 401. And the plan that is there today was the original plan from back then.
Really?
Yeah. That's where the 401 was supposed to back then go.
All the way to Ojibwe.
Yeah.
Really?
And then, because it was going to go to the employment lands, and then it could cut back up to the border.
Huh.
And so when you look at it, it's actually amazing that after all of the studies they've done, they essentially arrived back to this development that they were planning back then. Back then, the issue was politicians. The politicians of the day in Sandwich were really strong with the federal government. And so they said, no, we don't want this traffic going through our communities. And so they were strong enough lobby to be able to eliminate that and have it go on to Huron Church instead.
And just continue on with the ambassador.
Yeah.
Because it's what, 101 years old now? 102? 100-ish years?
Yeah, 100.
I thought it was 24 or 26, 23, 24. Regardless,
yeah.
She's not new. It's in a constant state of repair in order to continue servicing the volume of traffic, and having commuted daily for the last couple of years, but traveled on it routinely. It's a welcomed opportunity for another quick access bridge. Like, the tunnel's great, but it's two lanes, one going and one coming. As soon as traffic backs up, you're in the city centers on both sides.
You're downtown on both sides. Yeah. Like, there's no easy way if you're a transport truck in and out.
97.
Oh, it's 97.
It opened in 29.
29? All right. Oh, so it's got its centennial in a couple of years.
November of 29.
Crazy. So, but yeah, welcome that finally now, with all the political posturing, that we've got a date that both governments have acknowledged as the opening date. It's been communicated so far. So again, barring anything, because, hey, today's day and age, stuff changes routinely and at a moment's notice. Fingers crossed. Big momentous occasion here for us in the country and in our local community.
So what are your thoughts on the agreement? Like, have you dug into that rabbit hole at all?
So yes, and I think it's subject to interpretation of what revenues constitute, right? So are we dedicating the funding towards the debt allocation first before revenue, or was it profit was the word that was used?
Net revenues.
Net revenues.
Which is just another word to say profit.
Profit, right. So
after debt.
Correct. So, without knowing the calculation about what the repayment schedule was over the duration and the expected revenues and whatnot, it might not be much different than the original agreement, just packaged in a slightly different envelope.
The one part, and this is where, and there isn't really good information on it. Brian Massey actually had a long post about it, talking about the economic development funds, because part of it is that the U.S. It's interesting, the federal government, not Michigan, which was originally supposed to collect the money. Now the federal government collects the money, but it's supposed to be for an economic development fund for Michigan. There's no clause in the agreement for that for Canada or for Windsor West, Sandwich area. And so that is interesting. It'll be I don't think we'll hear anything about it anytime soon, because they'll be focused on getting the border open. But I do think long term it'll be interesting to see if they come up with some form of way to get profit, like toll profits, invested back into the Windsor West Sandwich area, because that could over time be huge for that community.
Well, and part of the original scope was investment in each of the communities, beautification,
Right.
Neighborhood infrastructure improvement. Right.
And I don't know if you guys have been in Sandwich.
I have.
They've done a ton of work.
Yeah.
Like, it's really nice driving through there now.
A couple of streets up, you're still in
Well, I
Sandwich.
mean,
But, the main through fair and what was
It's a
it?
nice little roundabout.
Yeah.
Well, they've done some work on the waterfront, on that back street.
Yeah, they have. So
Great
Yeah.
place for a picnic.
By the baby house.
Sandwich.
Oh. I like it.
it's just
Anyway.
it's just
Oh,
full of them
yeah.
today, folks. But yeah, I'm not going to put too much weight into what the agreement was, because ultimately our government would not concede accepting. And I want to firmly believe that our government wouldn't just openly accept onus of financing that at no cost.
Yeah.
Maybe the deferment, maybe there's a way that they've got the language done so that it's, like I said, essentially the same agreement that they have, just formulated in a much different way because, again, net profit.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's not going to turn a profit because they've got a $6 billion debt to pay back, or
6.5.
$6.5 billion. So that's going to take a few years, right? Much longer than our lifetimes, or like next generation. It probably still won't be paid off, right? Didn't Dilkin say something to that effect?
I think so, yeah.
So yeah.
And as someone who works in the manufacturing industry, does this have an impact? Do you think?
Absolutely.
How so?
So the problem that we face with international border travel is processing shipments. So the way the automotive industry works and manufacturing works, it's just in time, and that's a term that's used to keep things flowing so that warehouses and factories don't retain a whole bunch of inventory. So you make your parts, you put them on a truck, you ship them to your customer, they utilize them within a certain period of time, and that flow continues on. With the Stellantis facility still being in Windsor and the Ford factories, engine factories in Windsor, and then all the parts suppliers, keeping open commercial travel allows that to flow a lot better. And with Windsor being a feeder city with the industry and the tool and mold industry, being able to have the ability to I guess depend on open commerce and open transit routes will continue to I guess build that robust foundation that it can be done. Where we have the ambassador, it backlogs a lot, and companies have to retain more inventory as safety stock in order to make sure that, hey, if there is logistics breakdowns, that it can be handled without shutting down factories, etc. The fact that you're going on a residential road or city road in order to get to it, there's so many different factors. Not only that, but the idea of a corridor without stoplights. So there isn't traffic control in that gap or that throughfare.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's one area that is going to be interesting. I've done the loop onto the 401, that little bit of a stretch several times, swim meets or whatever, and it's hardly ever congested. You can get on there and you might pass a couple of cars, you might pass a semi or two, but once that opens, that's going to change drastically.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's going to be fun to watch in a way. A little more careful driving, but
so for me in my commute, when I go to Michigan, it can take me, when I get off of the 401 and on to Huron Church, and I always get stopped at that light right before EC Row, and then two more down, I get stopped. Either the next light or two more down, I get stopped, and then at least one or two before Tecumseh Road, and then usually College. It adds anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes just getting to the bridge.
Yeah.
And then coming home, when I'm like coming off the bridge and trying to get back out to the 401 to number 3, it's even worse because the truck traffic backs up because of those first two lights at College and then at Assumption High School. And each tractor trailer is 70 feet long, and if you get 4 or 5 of them that congest the right lanes with all the commuter traffic that's coming back after the workday, it could be 20 minutes for me to get back out of the city. Now with the Gordie, you funnel right out onto the 401, and then it's 3 lanes or 4 lanes of just free-flowing traffic.
Away you go.
So even though it's a couple of kilometers south of the Ambassador, it's going to save the 40-some-odd thousand of us just regular car commuters daily to be able to get to and from the other side of the border so much faster.
Not even considering the thousands of trucks a day that 15 to 20 minutes adds.
Oh, and for their sake, it spits them right out onto I-75, which most of that truck traffic is going south.
Yeah,
like it very some does go north. It's not that 100% goes that way, but most of it is headed south. So for it to spit right out on 75, it makes more sense than anyone really understands. Now, mind you, there'll still be utilization of the Ambassador. It's not going to go away anytime soon. I'm not sure what the agreement includes about the decommissioning of that bridge, because I thought there was a clause eventually that it'd have to be decommissioned within.
No, I don't think so.
No,
the Ambassador Bridge actually has approval to build a second span.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
It was in their proposal when they were going to twin it, and then they would decommission the original bridge and switch to the new Ambassador.
Yeah, and that is still an approved plan.
Yeah.
Just they're not going to do it because it wouldn't make sense.
No, it's just nobody's.
Well, and it'll end up reshaping Huron Church. Like I used to commute. I commuted for 5 years on Huron Church, and like it was rough getting like around trying to get onto the road you want. If there's a couple trucks in the way, like you got to go up to the next intersection. It's a pain in the butt. And now when you eliminate a lot of that, whole center lane is going to open up completely.
Oh yeah.
And it'll be. That whole neighborhood is going to change once that truck traffic is gone.
That'll be it. The amount of accidents that I see on a monthly basis, just from like people trying to do lane changes and not being able to see, or taking a risk. Absolutely safety, and then the sound. You don't have all the transport trucks and the diesel engines, and all the cars that are racing to try and get down the road because it's such a time suck. So I'm happy. I'm happy. Anyway, another announcement, which
I like it when he talks to the camera.
The town of Kingsville Municipal Election update. Well, we're premature on that, though. Gary, I was going to say, if this doesn't actually happen, you can edit here. But, we'll do the election update, and then we'll go back to the other news.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. So, we've had progress, folks. There people have submitted their applications and their forms to run for other positions. So I know it's been a couple weeks since we've had a show, but to update everyone, as of July 14th, for the town of Kingsville, running for mayor, Roshan Nala-Rotman and Thomas Neufeld. For the position of deputy mayor, Kimberly DeYoung and Robert Brando. So Robert Brando, new candidate. And then for the position of town councilor, Janice DeRoche, Adam Edwards, Debbie Jarvis-Shaughnessy, Sherry Lowry, and John Musselman. Sorry, Sherry Lowry. And John Musselman. So, we've got some new candidates that have filed the paperwork and whatnot.
It's only half the alphabet.
It's we're getting more. We're getting more. So we're
I want to see some W's.
Yeah, we gotta get
U's.
Yeah, some.
You won't. They're too far down the list. The W's don't want to run anymore.
No, because they.
Wilson's away.
Nobody reads to the bottom. Nobody reads to the bottom of the ballot. Oy vey. But yeah,
forgot about that.
So there's action. So I'm glad to see that some people are starting to step in, put their
name
ring,
out there.
It was our last episode that did it. When we actually pumped the positions,
Yeah,
it was us.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's all because of us. Yeah.
Oy vey.
For sure.
No thanks.
So, yeah,
You put a desperate plea, Steve. I think they heard it.
we've got a few weeks left.
Is the AI driving anyone else nuts?
Oh.
And not just the local candidates, but all of the candidates from every town. It's every AI generated image and every AI generated social media post with all of the exact same 3 comma points and emojis in the right spot and colons followed by a list of things comma separated and semicolons, and no one really knows how to properly use the semicolon, but all of a sudden they're everywhere.
Just throwing them around.
Drives me nuts.
Willy-nilly.
It's reason for me not to vote for him.
Oh, man.
Do your own work.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Just like we do for our ad spots.
Touche.
Hey, I did it myself for a long time, and I was like, well, geez, I'm going to use the tool.
It's all good.
So in when I do presentations for my job, I try to practice a few rules, and that's when I do a visual presentation, it's very simplistic because people don't pay attention. And when you're writing, or AI is writing these long diatribes with all of this floral language that's like it's not resounding with people, because eventually people lose interest and move on. Or if it's repetitive to the point that every post all the time is the same format and the same garbage, blah, 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 blah. No, you're not telling me anything new. Maybe a live post, maybe somebody speaking the words. Maybe those would maybe be better instead of...
Love to hear people say words.
Words, and right? Like if you're going to campaign. Don't let AI do the campaigning. Maybe that'll come. Maybe it's just,
there is an AI in campaign. I'm just... No, that's just a fact.
Yeah, but she is...
Thanks for the spelling bee, Steve.
No, but that's maybe that's
yeah. There's no I in team.
No, it's. And when we get a little closer to the election, I want to dive into this deeper, because I want to hear. I'm gonna do some research on this.
Should we do a Harris poll?
A hair poll?
Harris poll.
Harris poll.
Can we do a Harris poll?
Well, then we probably have to hire Harris.
No.
We just got to find enough people named Harris.
Oh, come on.
You don't know what we're talking about?
No.
Oh.
So in the
Drew
U.S.
and Mike.
Yeah, it's Drew, an old Drew and Mike bit. But in the U.S., there used to be this thing called Harris poll, where this survey group would named the Harris group.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I know
that
that
just
group.
Call around.
Right.
So Drew and Mike on WRIF radio for years through the 90s and the 2000s would just go and call people named Harris in whatever city they were looking for the information, and then ask them the question. Like,
you would hear them. Is this Mr. Harris? Is it Mr. Harris? We're conducting a Harris poll, and that was their version of a Harris poll.
Oh my God, I
polling
love that.
Harris's.
So brilliant.
It was great. And they'd ask the most asinine questions, or whatever. And it would usually... it was a great bit.
Could we pull former Harrises, like Heather Brown or something like that?
Yeah. I don't know. Do people have phones? Is there a phone book? Can we actually call people and know?
Probably not.
We can't. But yeah,
that's awesome.
To find out. And you were talking about what you want to do deeper.
No, I think that we should do a Harris poll. I just want to do that on something.
Well, we could do a survey.
Can we get like 4 Harrises in here?
Harris's want to know.
We'll just fire questions at Harris's.
Yeah. Pow pow. Tell me more. We should do a poll when we do get closer. Again, the election or the nomination period or candidacy application papers are till August 21st.
Yep.
So there's a few more weeks. We'll conduct it afterward. We'll see.
What was that? 5 weeks on Friday?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Quick.
Coming down.
Yeah.
Coming down. Stay tuned again. We'll inform you later of our intentions about the Meet the Candidates event again. To be announced soon. We'll have it in September. So stay tuned.
In the near future.
So
we can do it later now. They don't have mail-in voting anymore.
Yeah, but you want to give the reason
People
we did it, then people time to do the research.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they meet and they hear everybody, and then they want to allow ample time for follow-up.
Yeah, but we used to do it early because they would get their mail-in ballots early. We could do it
That's
closer
true.
to election
That's true.
day.
We could, yeah.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So other news in the town of Kingsville. Block party's coming Saturday. If this is going out on Friday, it's tomorrow. So Lego party, I think, is the theme.
Yeah. 18th, yes.
First one proper in the town of Kingsville. We have July and
build some stuff.
Lego.
Miller's Ice Cream will be open till 10.
It's delicious too.
Well, he gets his shameless plugs in. I'll get one in for Miller's.
Right ahead.
Hey, you heard about sweet corn?
That was not your moment, Kevin. That was my moment. So you can't even just keep quiet and let someone else have the mic for 30 seconds.
Sorry, I didn't hear your answer on sweet corn.
$9 a dozen.
$9 a dozen?
Yeah, 85
Love me
cents
some
a-
sweet corn.
85 cents a year.
Block party. Do you think they pay for the Lego licensing?
They do. No, they pay for it's an organization or a business that they pay that brings all the stuff out. Do you think they license the name?
Yeah.
Oh, heck
Or is
no.
it like Duplo?
No.
No, it's Lego.
It's straight up Lego?
Yeah.
But I wonder if they have.
Timu Lego?
They did one last year and they're trying to build on it.
Oh. Brick by brick?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
They're going to have
It
a
was
Pink
funny though
Floyd
because there was
cover band?
two people fighting over the same block, and the one kid's like, Lego!
Oh, no.
No? Okay.
No. Gary says no.
Oh.
Yeah, we voted no. We did a no, I can't say it.
No. So,
Anyway.
if weather permitting, there's some storms in the forecast for the weekend. As of now, who knows? It's
That'll be fine.
It's Essex County. It'll change 10 times.
Don't worry about
between
it.
now.
I think last year the storm rolled in at like 10 to 10.
Yeah, at the end. Yeah, it did. You're right. On one of them. So,
Yep.
Well, it's like a couple weekends ago. It was just a little rain, and some insane winds. But
yeah, I don't know. Apparently, I heard. I wasn't here.
oh yeah, it's crazy.
Well, I heard, and
Yeah.
Fun
Stuff
Fest,
went sideways.
Yeah, fun literally, and Fun
Yeah.
Fest went away like the Wizard of Oz in Essex, and there were some injuries.
Ooh, I was in the. Do you remember when the Peely Island Winery tent exploded?
No.
That was 2006. Summer 2006. There was a downburst, and they had T2B was having a gala on the front lawn of the Peely Island Winery.
Mm-hmm. They used to do that, yeah.
And a downburst came through, and it exploded the tent, like poles.
Wow.
Like those huge festival tents, exploded it. Poles are flying everywhere. The tent's coming down.
Wow.
Glasses and plates all over the place. And Corey won't mind if I tell his story. Corey Robertson was emceeing, and at first he was saying, "Everyone get out of the tent," and then I swear to God, he's standing on the stage trying to hold the tent up. I'm like, Corey, it's a huge tent.
Yeah.
You can't hold that up. I think he held it up for a little bit while people were running out.
Listen, you get that
Big guy.
Well, and you also get
Good
that
for Corey.
adrenaline, and you're like, mothers that are pulling cars off of
Yep.
kids and stuff. It's crazy. Yeah, go to the block party.
Go to the block party.
Go to the block party.
Look out for downbursts.
Yeah.
It should be fun.
Yeah. Recap: we did have the Highland Games that were a couple of weeks ago. Just after our last episode, and what I understand, that went well at Colasantes. Fun had by all.
That's the word.
Yes, we're in the thick of it here in the summer. It's crazy.
What else did we have? Wasn't there other or national news or?
So other big news in Windsor, Essex County, groundbreaking at the Fancy Family Hospital. Finally. And it's that's been another one of those major projects that the local community's been here and there, like, what's going to happen? Where's the location? What's the size? When's it going to be? Blah, blah, blah. Now we're finally at the phase where shovels in the ground.
Construction begins.
Big, hubbub of activity is gonna take place. Investment, jobs, like lots of things are now going to start to get put in place finally.
Yeah, it's going to revolutionize care in our region. Like it's a brand new. It will be, when completed, a brand new state of the art facility that is going to replace the Windsor Met campus and Olette campus of Windsor Regional Hospital, and it's this region's growing so fast it deserves to have a hospital that has all of the state of the art acute care equipment in it.
Yeah, and a lot of people were afraid that it was going to replace Leamington, Erie Shores, campus, and it's not. It's complementary to.
Can confirm it will definitely not.
Right? No, it's not, and that's another narrative that needs to be talked about more. But what it'll do, it'll help build a more robust care capability for the region. Right?
Exactly. And what it allows is for better integration between two different facilities. That already happens now with the hospitals in Windsor. There's a lot of discussions between the three sites currently about how to handle ambulances, different cases when they come in. There are different protocols in place, but having that care just on the Windsor side of it, just a little bit closer to the edge of and the boundary of the county, is a huge benefit for people in the county as well as people in the city, because now you're centralizing a lot of that back and forth. But of course, there's the little bias, obviously. I work there.
You don't say?
But the Leamington Hospital sees 33,000 emergency department visits every year.
That's insane.
That's not something that you can just stop doing. No. So of course that hospital's not going anywhere.
Yeah, but it's a scary thing for a lot of people to to hear and not understand completely.
Yeah.
Especially when they're replacing OLET campus and Met campus eventually.
Right.
Like they still will be commissioned for a period of time until the fancy family hospital is fully up and capable with all of the.
You're looking at 8 years of construction on the timeline now.
At least, because I'm sure there's going to be changes or things that will evolve as progression happens. In fact, as funding changes or as opportunities arise, maybe there's another opportunity that we have to take advantage of that adds to it.
Well, earlier in the episode we talked about the bridge. That agreement was struck in 2012 by Stephen Harper.
Yeah, so. Yeah, it's been a while. It's evolved.
It's been a while.
Stuff's changed. So.
It takes a while to build big things.
And another benefit that I think we don't really concept yet because it's not in service is just how many of the treatment facility or treatment options that we have to outsource that we won't have to when that facility is up and running, right? A lot goes to Michigan because of proximity and capability. A lot goes to London to university or
LHSC.
Right. You're now having that service in the community, which means we're getting better care for our population, which is, as you said, expanding at a rapid pace.
Yeah.
Right.
People don't realize, people know, but when you actually stop to think about the sheer volume of homes that are on the docket to be built in the next 5+ years. Like the town of municipality of Leamington is planning on building or creating capacity for 6,000 homes on the east side of town. That's massive. I think Leamington proper only has like 10,000 or 11,000 dwellings currently.
Something like that.
Yeah, like you're talking about adding a third of the town's residential base again. Kingsville, 2,000 homes on the docket. And even to that point, town council's having to go and look at revising the urban area of the town of Kingsville boundaries. Right, that's another thing that's going to council on the 27th. So. Kingsville's expanding and having to include more space to grow because there's the demand. Here's the one thing that Leamington is doing that Kingsville's not yet. And it'll be interesting. It's going to be something that the questions that will eventually have to start falling on probably the next council is Leamington is proactively, and there's some residents that don't 100% agree with it, but they're proactively redeveloping their parks. They had a report going to their council to build a large community like neighborhood park off Bevel Line. That's going for approval because they know that they're going to be building all these homes. They're putting the park infrastructure in place to help entice residents to want to move there.
Yeah.
So when does Kingsville start looking at, all right, well, do we need to build a large park on the west side of town, so that a large neighborhood lakeside park style park, so that the homes that are going to be built on this side of town, on the west side of town, are going to be desirable.
Well, park space has to be part of any new development, right?
Right, but there's a difference between the small community park, like I live close to Applewood Park, right? Or Lakeside Park. And Leamington is like they're going to build a 12-acre park.
Okay.
Right?
So it's not just
not the neighborhood park. It's sorry, I know I use the term neighborhood park because they did, but it's a park designed for the community at large.
Okay.
And so the other thing is our community infrastructure. Like our arena is old. There's a lot we saw and joked about posts about pools, which is insanity. Hate every single time I see someone suggest building a pool. But there are amenities that other towns are putting in, and Kingsville has benefited from having a nice town that's desirable for people to want to move to. But the other towns are now have a larger tax base because they've been increasing their taxes at a higher rate than Kingsville has, which for us, we save money. But now they're beginning to use that extra tax base to install community amenities that will slowly erode that desire to want to live in the town. And it's something that future councils are going to have to start dealing with. There's going to be some uncomfortable conversations about tax rate increases for residential amenities in the near future.
Yeah, this is part of the reason why I was committee day, even had my ideas and the proposals about what the KDHS property and what the KPS property could do for the town to facilitate things like that, right? Downtown green space square, mixed residential, commercial, reshape the town for the future for benefit. But exactly that. To that point, if we're going to be sprawling and expanding, it has to be done intelligently. We don't just want streets and rows of houses like major urban centers that don't have any attraction or any kind of flavor of life within that community. You don't build communities, it's just a place people live.
And then Rush write a song about it. Or Arcade Fire do.
Yes, they do.
Yes,
they do. But you got me sidetracked.
I'm good at that.
We don't want to be Markham.
No
one wants to live in Markham,
right? Or even like I'll use Windsor or Detroit. Like it was purpose-built neighborhoods for workers to work in factories, and it was rows of houses, and it was just block on block on block in a grid fashion, and that was what it was. If we're building a community, you have to build a community. And a pool is not something that we need when we have a gigantic lake and other communities that have pools that have already invested in that already have tax bases that can sustain them better than we can. And also, do you really want to do that and take away from everything else?
Just a reminder, at Atlas Tube Center, when it opened that year, residents got a 7% tax increase just to cover operations.
Yeah, whoops-a-daisy. Yeah, nobody looks at it like, I want somewhere where I can do laps. Go to Leamington. Go to Essex. Go to Windsor.
But to that point, I don't want to see a 7% tax increase. That's insanity. But I do think that we are going to come to a time where residents are going to have to decide, am I okay with 5% for a couple of years? And then so that we get this large, like a large park, a new double two-pad arena, like instead of doing things on the cheap, doing things on the proper.
Well, But even at that point, we have to be fiscally responsible. And Brian McLeod and we've had conversations with administration about how there was how we're at a deficit when it comes to maintenance and replacement of facilities that are also as important as...
Yeah, but you know what I don't care about? A new town hall. I secretly love Cottam. I don't care about a new town hall.
I've been in Cottam two out of the last 4 weekends. It's great. Anyway.
Oh, you're lucky.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, there's...
Don't remember,
things to do.
You don't remember?
I do. No, one was the block party.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
And the other was the pub there, the brewery.
Brooks and
Okay,
Oaks.
Yeah.
all right, fine. Those are good reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, no one. I don't want a new town hall before we have proper recreational amenities in this town.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know that a double pad is even a thing anymore. I mean, Ray Dean talked about the usage and how the open borders has totally changed minor hockey. I think there's plenty of ice time out there. I don't know that we would need one.
I think if you talk to some of the minor hockey people, they might have some different conversations around that. But
probably.
Also, what about a mixed use turf facility?
Yeah.
Like
Indoor soccer, baseball.
That would be great. But the thing is, like, every town that has a double ice pad has a junior hockey team.
Mm-hmm.
We don't.
Mm-hmm.
We don't. We couldn't support it. We did well for a while, but then we couldn't support it anymore.
Going to the games also, like, it wasn't, didn't get the same sort of fan experience that you get if you go to a Flyers game, because the arena's not set up the same way.
No, I listen, there's tons of reasons why. All I'm saying is to me, like, minor hockey might make a case, but with the open borders, there's plenty of ice time available, whether it's in Harrow or Essex or Leamington, Wheatley, who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and let's not get hung up on. I just threw double ice pad out, but I do think that there are other recreational facilities that we should have. Like
that, I don't disagree with.
Right? Like they exist,
like pickleball courts,
and thank God we're working on them.
And an indoor soccer field would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of soccer, there's 3 teams left, but anyway.
Oh, it's a big day for Steve
the World
tomorrow.
Cup.
Big day for Steve tomorrow.
Yeah.
Not working the afternoon, are you? 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock, you are in front of a television.
Somewhere.
Drink in hand.
Nah.
Oh, you just
I'll still be drinking water. I'll still be hydrated.
Yeah.
Are you going to hang up a TV on the break tree?
No, I'll be done. I'll be done in time for 3.
Well, Steve, World Cup coming to an end here soon, within the next few days. Good luck to England.
Thanks.
It's Argentina?
Yeah.
England, Argentina. Spain's already punched their card for the finals.
What do you think? Argentina's they've had some rocky games, so...
They got that guy, right? Who plays on the team.
They do have that guy. We've also got a guy.
Yeah.
But... I don't know. I don't want to make predictions. I don't really want to talk about that game itself. I do think that of the final 3, that Spain is the strongest team based on overall how they've played. Like, to shut down France like they did today defensively, and who knows, like this...
Let me ask you a question, though. Like, all the controversy leading into the 3-country hosting and the cost and whatnot, what are your thoughts about how it actually has been executed?
From what I've seen on social media, I think it's gone extremely well. Extremely well. And, we're fed different angles and different information through the media. And as a former part of the media, I don't always like the way the media is portrayed, because they're not all bad. But I've seen clips, and again, I'm not on Facebook, but I do have Instagram. I do kind of see things that pop up. And people saying, that the U.S. is safe, and I believe it is. It's when things don't go right, they're magnified, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
But when you see so many countries, so many people from different countries coming together like they have. So Mexico, I think we talked about this the previous episode,
mm-hmm.
Mexico, South Korea, but England played Mexico at the Azteca in Mexico City, and England won. And after the game, it showed little notes from the Mexican fans, that was a tough loss, and then they're partying with the English. Mm. And the English historically have been notorious for bad behavior.
You don't say.
Well, I mean, if I'm going to go to the States, especially in the current climate, that is one of the last places I'm going to go and be a moron, mm-hmm. right? So they're behaving. what's fascinating is little towns like Lawrence, Kansas, as I think I mentioned this in the last one, who basically adopted the Algerian team. And then somewhere in Washington, I can't remember what country they really got behind. And the one clip that kind of hit hard was when, if you take away our leaders, certain leaders, look how the world can get along, right? And I think there's a lot of truth to that. And I don't want to make this too deep. I don't want to make this too whatever. But overall, to answer your question, I think it's done a lot of good. And there's going to be people saying, well, that's just a World Cup. That's not real life. Well, that's the wrong mentality. People have come in, the Scottish in Boston, Norwegian fans, the rowing, there's so much. The English fans were in Atlanta and basically adopted one of I don't know if you guys saw this, but there's a Braves player, I can't remember his name.
Oh, yes.
Michael Harris or something like that.
Yeah.
We on the Harris poll.
We should call him.
Yeah.
But they're in there in the stands, whole bunch of them, and they're chanting his name. And he went over after the game, and one of the fans gave him his England shirt, and he put it on, and he traded his hat for it. And then they're right behind this guy. Yeah. And these are things that it's not just countries. It's sports sort of overlapping with one another. There's so many good stories, and it probably hasn't gone perfect, if you will. But I heard great things about Toronto as a host city, especially during that Croatia-Portugal game. I think something I read was something to the effect of, this is a Catholic school or a Southern Ontario Catholic school fantasy kind of thing. Yeah. You know, the only thing that would have made it crazier if it was like Portugal and Italy kind of thing, right? Vancouver was raved about for not only for their hosting ability, but the stadium itself and the field that, you're bringing in grass to an indoor stadium. The Mexican fans we talked about, but so many of the U.S., and granted, these stadiums are not soccer stadiums. The one thing that was said was the final should not be in New Jersey.
No.
There's so many other stadiums, and it would have been a better choice.
Yeah, money.
But yeah, I think it's just been a fantastic tournament outside of some of the controversial things that have actually happened in the games. I think if you look at the biggest detractor in all of this, the one that's come out looking the worst is actually FIFA.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
that's fair.
Well, and it'll be interesting to see how they deal, or if they even have to deal with any fallout from some of the things that have gone on, because it's FIFA itself. I think a lot of the issues that like hardcore soccer fans are well aware of are now very much in the public light.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So. And it's been talked about for years. Different levels of. But again, social media, it's able to highlight different things and regurgitate it and put it on reels and whatever. So,
and a big stage here being in North America, right? Like usually the tournament, what was it, Qatar last
4 years ago.
4 years ago, and then...
And that was an interesting one too, because there was a lot of negativity leading up to that, but the tournament itself went very well. So
yeah, the negativity was all of the slave laborers that died.
Building the facilities.
The facilities that are
heat.
Now empty and falling apart.
Fahrenheit. Or 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
I'd like to do a little name dropping for my daughter.
Well, let's.
She works at a gym in Chatham, and she ran into this girl a couple of times, and she said, I looked at her, she says, she looks like a soccer player. She had a British accent. So one time she asked somebody at the counter, who is that girl? And she goes, well, she's from England, soccer player.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Leah Williamson, the captain of the British women's soccer team.
English.
Yes. English. Sorry.
We're not roping in Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales to Leah.
The Lionesses.
Yes.
Yeah. And she's in Chatham visiting relatives.
Oh, that's
amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So she had a brush with...
some fame there. Yeah. Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Well, welcome. If you're never going to listen to our podcast,
she doesn't. She's not going to hear this at all.
Well, we'll see how things turn out. And, I think it has been unifying, right?
And then there's only one thing that could make it perfect.
Team Canada didn't lose to Morocco.
Well, Canada were awesome.
Oh.
So fun to watch.
Fantastic.
But if England can win, hey.
Well, somebody predicted that at the beginning of the year, so...
It'd be nice to get one. If the only one I get right is that one, I'll take it.
Check. All right. Thanks, everyone. Like, subscribe, do all the fun things you do. We will see you next time.
We're not the news.